Here are the origins of the Indian totem. What we have here is a family of Sasquatch. And the Indians used totems to notify other Indian tribes passing through the area of what kind of creatures have been seen in what forestry or wherever they're at. And each one of those beings that are stacked in the totem, whether it's, different bird-like beings or dogman, or they put them all in that totem. And this is where the concept came for the Indian totem. It was a warning, but also a learning of what is in that immediate area where they were. Okay, so we got Sasquatch here, and I'm going to show you guys real quick. So I'm going to go to markup. So the first one is this gray-haired Sasquatch, which I've showed footage of not long ago on the channel, but you can see his gray fur coming in here. His eyes are right here. Half his face is in the shadow there. And then his mouth is right here. His nostrils. Okay, the second one will be the adult right here. Actually, I think there's two adults. The one adult, because they stack up, like I said, just like they do in the totems. The second one, I think, is like right here. You can see his eyes. This one might even just be a juvenile being held, I think, actually. I think the actual adult is right here, and you can see his wide nostrils right here. And then there's another little juvenile right here on top of his head. Alright. Let me clear them markups real quick. You can hit pause, screenshot, do whatever you gotta do. If you want to zoom in, do more. There's a juvenile right here. Check him out. He's even got his little hand. See, here's his eyes, right? He's even got his little hand up here, knuckled, to block his breath, to keep from blowing breath. You can see his mouth gaped open there. Right. Standing up in the fork of the tree. Check him out. Look at his teeth. Look at them little fangs up front there. His little hands. And he's got his shade lens on his eye there. Absolutely amazing. And then over here to the right, we got even more Sasquatch. Let me get down here where I saw him at. Let's see. Here's a littler one right here. You can see him peeking around the tree. And then right here is the actual. Here's an older juvenile or an adult right there. Right there. I think this one right here is probably it must be further up on the footage. I missed the spot. I missed one of the Sasquatches that I showed there a few minutes ago. Let's see. I'll have to go through the footage and find it. It's real clear. This one here looks like a side profile view. I think that's his right eye, right? And he's got a little baby on his head. He's clear on the ground. This one is. See his nose there. And right here is this little juvenile. You can even see his little eyes right there. On top of the head of the adult. I think that might be one of the smaller Sasquatches. Wow, look at that. Furry little bugger. See the fur all over him. Absolutely amazing. So I got some more looking into on this footage, and I'll probably do a part two. Wow, absolutely amazing, man. Here's one right here, stacked up. You can see his eyes. He's got his shade lens pulled back. You can actually see the size of his pupil. It's huge. Here's his eyebrow ridge, right? His nostrils. That's his left eye there. Yeah, they stack up. You know, and they'll get real low to the ground, and the next one will stack up just a little bit higher, and they'll stack right up on a tree, and they'll stand like they'll all when they stack up, they're not necessarily on top of each other either. They're just standing straight back from one another, all the way up. You know, standing up just barely above each other so they can see their vision, but have line of sight on you, but still have enough room to disperse and whatnot. So, man, these guys are just highly intelligent masters of the forest, and we're just barely scratching the surface on their capabilities, and it's absolutely amazing. Okay, let me see. Let me go to the next image before we get to the footage. Wow, that's just an amazing footage right there. So we got his. Let me take a picture of this real quick. So we got his eyebrow ridge right there. Here's his left eye, his right eye. And then we got the flared nose. I believe this right here might be like the top lip. Alright. I'm not real certain on that, but we'll have to get to the actual footage and see. This might actually be his nostrils. And then down here is his mouth. That might even be like his bottom tooth type. You know, something like that maybe. And when we get to the footage, we'll see him go back and forth, and we'll know for sure. So here we go. Let me go to the next. Let me see here real quick. So there's one that was way back there, back behind the X structure there. That's my dog snoring. Sorry about that. She's got sleep apnea. Oh shit. I'm going to have to get my dog a CPAP machine, man. Looks like there's one here peeking around the tree. See his shade lens on his eyes. They're just masters at covering concealment. Let me see here. There's one standing back behind the tree right there, just staying well covered and concealed. Let's see. And then right here is like the totem. I'm I'm just going to show what I meant by that. Like, say, here's the Thunderbird, right? Or Mothman. And then, like, this one I think is like the werewolf, right? And this one is like your Sasquatch or Dogman type thing. And then you have like an extract totem where it's the, like back here where it's the actual tree, and then they just carve out the bark, right? Like a 3D printed image, basically, before there's 3D printed images. Go figure. That's pretty amazing stuff. But anyways, don't that look like a bunch of entities stacked up along a tree in the woods? Sure does. Isn't that a sight to see? Alright, I'll go back to videos. I believe it was this one. I believe it was one there behind the tree right there. But I'm going to skip up to where that totem scene is. Let's see. Okay. Oh, shizen. Just a moment. So, wow, look at that. Check that out. His face is up front there, toward the front. Look at that. So then you got, we got this one here peeking around the tree, right? And we got this one here. And then we got this one here. We got like rubber ridge right there. They're already starting to stack up. And you wonder, like, what's the benefits of doing that, right? Well, there's if it's in the real dead of winter or something, it'd be warmer that way. Maybe it's got something to do with their dimensional portals or what, but why they stack up. Or it helps blend them in. They can camouflage easier that way with whatever devices they're using. But if you look right here, here is the Sasquatch standing back there on the X structure right here. He's leaning down on his leg like right there. Yeah. He's leaning, watching me. He's sitting down on that X structure. It's like 35 or 40 yards back in there. Check him out. Staying in the thick brush. Here's one here peeking around. There's a littler one right there peeking around. A whole bunch of them. So I'm going to be getting me a FLIR camera here soon, where I can track some body heat. I'm going to be putting out some FLIR images. But let's take a look at this guy right here. See what he does. Wow, look at that. What an image, man. A little juvenile up on his shoulder there or something. It's Sasquatch, folks. Absolutely Sasquatch. And look at this one here now. He's got almost like a Darrow type nose. This one here below the one adult there. Check him out. Look at that. I'm starting to get some of the light brown look in his face there. Look at that. Absolutely amazing. Let's see here. I need to get some better software where I can actually stay focused on one spot and then let the footage adjust to that without skipping. So I'll get this one here hiding in the bush. You see a little bit of the white in his eye there. Check that out. Here's one here. You can see the silhouette of his body back behind the trees there. Look at that. That was further up the hill, I do believe. Let's see here. See, he's spitting something up in the sky there. It takes off floating. Did you see that? See if I can find it there. Oh, look at this guy. Check him out. A couple of them in there. One right there. Look at his teeth. There's this one here peeking around the tree. Check him out. So much footage here to go through. Starting to get some of the reds and the coppers in his skin there. Ah, shit. Alright, folks, that's what I got for right now. I'll go through this footage and put some more of it together here for you next day or so. Peace.